When branding for a startup, what are some of the key considerations that can help to have a strong foundation in the competitive market? This week, we are talking about branding for a startup. This is Understanding Branding, and my name is Ziba. As a startup, there are several things that you need to put into consideration to have a strong foundation in the competitive market. And in doing so, one of the things that will help you is to define your brand purpose. So clearly articulate why your brand exists. Now, what is the purpose of your brand or your startup, your business, your services that you want to render? Why does it exist? What problems are they solving? And what value do you represent? So get answers to these questions, and that will be the purpose for you establish that entity, for you providing that services. What I do now, when you have such strong purpose, you can resonate with your customers so easily, and that will help. So define your brand purpose. What problem are you solving? What value do you represent? Have that one, and that will help you to be competitive or to be noticed in the crowded marketplace that you found yourself. Two, understand your target audience. Now, how do you understand them? Unless you conduct a research, a market research, to identify your ideal customers. So identify your ideal customers, know who you want to sell your product to, identify them. Now, when you identify them, what would that do? It will help you to understand their need, understand their preferences, right? So what do they need? How do they want it? When you understand that target audience that you want to, and it will help you so that you'll be able to tailor your message, you'll be able to tailor your branding accordingly so that you'll be able to meet their need. So you need to understand their target if you want to be relevant in your marketplace. So the next one, creates a memorable visual identity. So invest in a professional logo. Don't just do anything and say that is your logo. Invest. Why? Because the logo is going to represent who you are when you are not around. So create a memorable one. Logos that are easy to memorize, that are easy to recognize. So in case you are not available or you are not present to explain your brand to them, customers or your ideal audience can even remember. So the moment they hear your brand, they'll be able to remember how your logo even looks like. So create a professional logo. And then as well, colors and fonts. It's very, very important. Don't just use any colors because you like it, or don't just use any font because you like it or it's nice. They all have meanings. Colors have meanings. Understand those colors before you use them. Choose fonts that are in line with your brand value. Now, there are meanings to it. We have different kinds of fonts and they have different meaning to it. Understand all those things. If you can't, get a professional to help you, and that will help you create a memorable visual identity. The next one, focus on consistency. Ensure that all your branding is consistent across all platforms. It could be websites, social media, or your marketing materials. Make sure it is consistent. Now, what do I mean by consistent? For example, as a brand, you need to have a personal font. So make sure your font is consistent. Don't use font, let's say Montserrat. Use Montserrat. Then the next one you are using Nexa. Then the next one you are using Century Gothic. Or the next one you are using Arial. That won't be consistent. So use font that is consistent. So have a font as a brand. Have one font, one or two fonts, and that will be part of your brand so that all the messages, your marketing materials, and your website, social media artworks will have that same font, and that will be easy to resonate with your brand or easy to resonate with your customers because the moment they see that font, they know who that font belongs to. or who they can associate the font with. So focus on consistency. Now, the next one, I like this one. It says monitor your competitors or monitor competitors. You need to keep an eye on your competitors' branding strategy. It is very, very important. So you are not the only person in the industry. Identify your competitor. Now, once you identify them, continue to keep an eye on their branding strategy. Right now, why do we need to do that? Now, when you keep an eye on their branding strategy, it will help you to learn their success and see where they are missing, so that you'll be able to approach that. So when where they are succeeding, you can also learn something from it. And when they lack, or where there is a loophole in their strategy or in their branding, you quickly define your branding to approach it and then fill that gap or that hole that have been left, so as to be able to make you stand out from your competitor. So keep an eye on their branding strategy to learn. And when you learn, where you see or you realize that there is a loophole somewhere, tailor your branding so that you'll be able to fill that gap, and that will help you to stand out from your competitors. By carefully considering these factors, brand can establish a strong brand that resonates with their target audience, and that will also help them to stand out in a crowded marketplace. This has been Understanding Branding. My name is Ziba.